I got something for you. I got something for all these homosexuals just walking around here with your pocketbooks, with your tight pants and your bow tie, and you're walking like a girl. You need deliverance. I'm going to tell you why you're not delivered. And I'm going to tell you what's wrong with you. Walking around here looking like a sissy. And they don't want nobody to say nothing about you. I'm going to say something about you. You are perverted and you're lost. There is no anachronosis. Walking like a woman. You're a hybrid conundrum. You're confusing.
That's it.
And I blame some of these preachers. You got the sissies up there doing praise and worship. You know what that is? That is insidious preaching. That means sit there till something hits you by some kind of ambush. And I'm going to show you where even the priesthood was fired. In the book of Hosea, he said, I'm going to fire you because you stumbling in the day, in the night, and the people stumbling in the day, and my people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. You are a cheap preacher. They can just pay you a car and some suits and alligator shoes. You'll be just like Ray Charles, and your assistant pastor is Stevie Wonder. You don't want to see nothing. But all you want is toys. You are a Toys R Us preacher. You're an avuncular preacher. You are the candy man. Because the candy man makes the world taste good. You make the world taste good. How much is the preacher in the window? Just give him some tithes.
Yes, sir.
Buy him a car.
Yes, sir.
You're cheap. You're cheap. You won't tell him the truth because you want the numbers. You know who you are? You are Bishop Nimrod. That's pastoring a Babylonian church with a Walmart marketing system that cut the price to keep the people coming. You know that boy is a sissy. And listen, the Bible says the wicked struts when the vilest of men are promoted.
Wow.
When they see sisters up here leading praise and worship, they say it's all right. You just gave them a license to sin. And God gonna get you.
Right.
Fumas is coming with your diaphanous cheap self.
That's it. That's good.
All you want is a suit and some alligators. You're cheap.
Right.
Paul said, having all but possessing all but got nothing. What about kenosis? What about denying accolades? And what about denying honor and prestige and be like Jesus? Jesus gonna get you.
All right, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters that's out there. On to the Israelite foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. And Krakadosh in the Holy Spirit. And as you can see, here you got a I don't know what divination of Christianity this guy is in. I'm bald-headed. I think he's a pastor. I'm not too sure, but I'm gonna try to keep it. Well, he was correct. All right, and it shows you he had the right spirit, saying basically these people are they're so cheap, easy to be bought, and that's our people. That's the nation of Israel for you. they are easy to be bought and sold for nothing. And he made mention of you know, for the, I believe he said a car and the gator shoes and so forth. And you know, in reality, that's not worth eternity. Okay? And these people are bought and sold because they live a lavish lifestyle. And the things that he's saying, we've been saying for a long time period. This is like this guy, I forgot this guy's name. He was a pastor for Obama, and he was about to leave, and then that's when he's saying, he said certain things that were truthful to spark the congregation, but all those people in that congregation are a bunch of hypocrites. All right, a bunch of hypocrites, because the simple fact that they're getting all excited and acting like they're doing a righteous thing, but you people that's in the church, you already know these things. You should have been made a thing. The pastors is teach you nothing. You should have been made a noise and so forth, because all the abomination that is done. All right. And I kind of noticed what Jake, what they try to do, try to justify their means, especially when they know is at an end for them. And that's not the right spirit either. You go all out, you must be all the way. But if you was out there teaching, you must be teaching the right thing, not because it's convenient for the time being, and you see the wickedness. You shouldn't allow the wickedness to get that much. And you got all these old coons. I'm watching the thing, I'm laughing because it was funny. It was good. I ain't gonna lie. It was really entertaining. It was entertaining in the source, and it stirred me up to even do a video on it, because he was basically saying, "You are so cheap." You know, you're right. He's absolutely 100. But that doesn't justify the means of allowing this thing to happen for so long. Matter of fact, I'm going to just get to the scriptures. Matthew 16 and 26, it says, "For what is a man profit if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?" And a job of a pastor, a preacher, is to go out there and preach the good news to the people. And what these pastors and preachers have been doing for the past X amount of years, us being this side of the world, was giving the people bowl. And at that particular time, when Yahushua was talking, you had the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the ruling class of the nation of Israel that pretty much gave it all for the Romans. All right? And you could bring that to this very day. You have all these celebrities and all these people that's in a high status that they sold, or they broke. They didn't literally sell, they sold. They didn't have integrity enough to sustain what they who they are. So they'll even go as far as do ungodly acts to be in that position. Now the same guy that's bald headed and saying all these things, doesn't he not know the law about a bald head or a bald face? All right, the same guy that's putting people on blast, why he had not said this before. All right, he said it. Does that make him right? There's a lot of wickedness that's going on in the church that needed to be addressed. See, this is where you figure out who's who and what's what. And it's all good. It's all good when everything's going your way, but when things are not going your way, that's when you want to let loose. So these guys, they bought and sold, man, and that's what that particular pastor was saying. Isaiah 56 and 56 and I believe it's 10. It says, Isaiah 56 and 10. No, verse 9. "All ye beasts of the field, come to devour come to devour, all ye beasts in the forest. His watchmen are blind, they are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs, they cannot bark. Sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber." And that's what they've been doing. They've been sleeping on the job because, like he said, they so cheap. All right, it's more than just about the sissies that's in the church. It's about telling the people who they are? Are you going to tell those people that they're the children of Israel? Not being metaphorically and being really the physical, the descendants of the children of Israel? Are you going to tell them that? No. Because what they intend to do is to give half truths, man. All right? And they're not wanting the people of the vaccine. They're not wanting the people of the RFID microchip. They're not warning people about the destruction of the souls, man. So they are dumb dogs. They do not bark. Okay? It says, yeah, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough. That's why you have these mega gigantic churches the way you have them. They are greedy and they can't have enough. Okay? They want the fancy clothes, the fancy cars, the mansions, the Lear jets, and all this is all this for a momentarily pleasure, while the rest of the congregation are starving and dying of not knowing who they are. They could live a lavish lifestyle, allowing everything into the congregation or the abominable thing to let it go so far. All right, enough is enough. It says, which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain from his quarter. So this is all about financial thing with these guys, man. They don't care less. And I believe this man quoted this one, Hosea 4, I'm sorry, 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, no mercy, no knowledge of the Most High in the land. Hey, man, he said it. He said, God is going to get you. He said, Jesus is coming, you know. Yeah, there's no knowledge of the Lord. All right. Leviticus 20:13 should have came into these people's mind. All right. How do people not know? Why is he just saying things? Why he don't quote scriptures and cut the people to asunder? Because he don't know what he's talking about. He's just talking. All right. There's no knowledge of the Lord. If they knew the knowledge, hey, I'm gonna quote it. Sirach 12:6. God hates the sinner. All right, not the sin. He hates the sinner because they're the ones that's committing the sin. So these guys don't know what the hell they be talking about, and then when the time comes, that's when they want to say something, but it's too little, too late. All right, so that's why the Lord is gonna judge the house of Israel, man. So by swearing and lying, killing and stealing, committing adultery, and that happens a lot in the church. Why does that not be an address? All right. They break out blood touching blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the forest and with the fowls of heaven, meaning they're gonna be put to death. All right. Say, yeah, the fishes of the sea shall be taken away. Yet let no man strive nor reprove another, for thy people are as they that strive with the priests. Therefore shall they fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with thee in the night. And hey, you have a lot of people that's in Israel that know they're Israel. Okay, that's what they're doing. Johanna, Nate, Zabak. All right, they're in the night. They're not teaching, they're going to fall. Okay? They're going to fall horribly. If you're not teaching about the RFID microchip is the mark of the beast, that the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the biblical Israelites, that America's going to be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction. If you're not teaching the key things, the key opponents that put people in the right course to the Lord, you're not teaching. You're not saying nothing. All right? And that's what the next verse says, and I will destroy thy mother, and my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. Thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou forgotten the law of thy Lord, the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children. So they forgotten the law of the Lord. They forgotten the things of the Lord, what pisses the Lord off. The number one thing is to fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, which is not being taught. All right, that's not being taught amongst so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. They have this misconception that they could do whatever they want, whenever they want, and at the end of the day, they think they're saved by the blood of Christ. But it doesn't work like that. All right, you're supposed to be a newborn person if you come to serve the Lord, and you have to know His name. His name is not that C word. His name is Yahushua. Okay, so our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. All right. And that's why another scripture says, why trimmest thou thy way? Because our people have trimmest their way to seek love, to accept anything, just to get some money off to the people. It says, as they were increased, so thy sin against me. Therefore I would change their glory into shame. They eat up their sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And they shall be like people, like priests, and I will punish them for their ways, and reward them their doings. For they shall eat and not have enough. They shall commit whoredom and shall not increase, because they have left off to take heed of the Lord. Whoredom and wine, new wine, take away their heart. My people ask counsel at the stocks, and their staff declareth unto them. For the spirit of whoredoms have caused them to err, and they have gone a whoring from under the Most High, going to these different gods. All right, the number one religion, really, in reality, is witchcraft right now. All right, and who's the head of that? It's the so-called black woman. All right. So our people, they have a lot to pay, man. And Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to make them pay dearly. I'm going to jump onto the one I really want. Micah 3:9. It says, hear this, I pray ye, you heads of the house of Jacob, and the princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment and pervert all equity. They build up Zion with blood, and Jerusalem with iniquity. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Exactly what the man was saying. All right, and they are cheap. Here it is. The Lord is about to give us eternity. I was contemplating, thinking about it, like how foolish people are in this world for a momentary bliss. All right, a momentary bliss of profit. Momentary bliss of living a good lavish lifestyle, compared to eternity. You must be out of your mind. Eternity all day, man. But they don't teach the people that. They teach that the godly gains is the gains that they have is godly, and that's how the Lord wants them to have it. Okay, that's why a lot of these other churches and Israelite camps, what do? They need to know that you have a good job to be in the congregation, give them offerings. Like this guy in Nate's congregation, what he said? He said, please don't he said, please don't show the rest of my house, because of all the gains that he has over the people. And this is what they did it for filthy lucre's sake. It says, thereof divine for money, yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. And that's what that man kept saying. He's like, yo, God is gonna get you. The J is gonna get you. All right. I don't want to say that guy's name, but yeah. So judgment is coming to the house of Israel, man. Starting with these people that claim to be pastors and priests, and mainly the guys that claim to be prophets, is not telling the people the right thing. All right, I'm gonna end it off on this. Zechariah 13:8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, save the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. So 2/3 of the nation of Israel is going to be put to death for all their wickedness, all the advantage that they done, all the things that they taught the others to do. All right, all that for a momentary pleasure, and now they're gonna be burnt up with the enemy, man. Okay, they're gonna be burnt up with the enemy. All that you made your value worth nothing. All that for a momentarily bliss, momentarily, a moment of good things compared to eternity, man. So with that being said, I hope you brothers edify. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.